Hi
Getting on to
guys,
the
this is your friend
property
Urush
ladder
from
has never
SendWave.
been easy
SendWave
until
is a
now.
money
Join
transfer
us
app
this
that
and
is used
every
by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for star, R for radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Make that move now, this festive season, to your new home address at GHS Housing Estates. From now to 31st January 2023, we are offering you an amazing 5% buyer's discount on all purchases on our expandable 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom detached homes at Cochrane Villa, Pokwase, just 5 minutes drive from the interchange. The Mayflower and the new Hazel Courts at Kuntusi, 20 minutes drive from Achimotamo. Beautiful homes in a serene and gated community with flexible payment plans available. Call us now on 0544 347 980 or 0544 347 981. GHS Housing Estates. View it, love it, own it.
Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Star Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
I've been sitting here staring at the clock on the wall.
right there. A very good evening to you out there, but depending where you are, it might be a good morning, a good afternoon. Not to talk about our fans and loyal viewers and listeners across the globe. I'm talking about Australia, China, Japan, and Africa, US of A. Thank you for tuning in. But hey, in the nation of United Kingdom, we've been having some showers in the south. It's been a good day so far. The good news is that we're still here. And you know one thing, I'm super excited as always to be your host. My co-host is still on assignment. You might have to want to find out, but hey, sometime pretty soon there's a project coming on, so she'll be back bigger than ever before. Vicky, a very good evening out to you, and let me say thank you to our sponsors, CIG Properties. That's www.cigpropertyuk.com. And let me say a big thank you to Kerry's Furniture in Atlanta, Georgia, and Accra, Ghana. And also, let me say a big thank you to Mayor Associate and then M&M Concept, amazing company when it comes to all your designs and merchandise. Look no further, it's M&M Concept. The amazing flyers you see, it's coming from them, and we're super excited with their partnership. Great work they're doing, Katie and the team. We appreciate you. But hey, we ready to roll. My guest is all set, and amazingly, he is somebody that I've read a lot about, and I've dig a little bit deeper, and I believe that Philip is all set and ready for us to roll. And so wherever you are, let me let you know that we streaming live on Twitter. It's Star Radio UK. On our YouTube channel, we're streaming on that Star Radio UK YouTube channel. We're also on Periscope. We are on www.starradiouk.com. We have that amazing interactive user-friendly app that you can also listen on the go. And also you can also listen on TuneIn Radio or Radio Garden, and so many platforms as well. On Facebook, couple of pages. On Star Radio UK fan page, Star Radio UK Global, and also KB Bossman Facebook page as well. Archie Hammond Facebook page. We're streaming live. And you know what, tonight, if you want to take a pen and a notepad, as you get the tips and advice, note it down and carry out, execute what you learn. But let me say that the disclaimer: all the information and content on this program, we disassociate that you have to seek professional advice outside of this program, so you don't have to make your decision based on the information that is given on this program. And so please, if you need a specialist or an expert advice, then you will have to, after the program, you connect with us. We will show you where to go and which advice to get, and the best people to speak to. So thank you and thank you and thank you, and let me say it's all set and we are ready to roll. Good evening, Philip, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Good evening. Thank you for asking me on.
Wonderful, Philip, and I hope that you're doing well in the midst of this climate, the economic challenges we're facing.
Yeah, busy as ever, but yeah, certainly challenges, but yeah, all busy and doing well, thank you.
Oh, wonderful. So let me quickly give you a background of who Philip is, and before he will add one or two to Philip. He's such a humble man, so I appreciate you so much. Thank you for joining us. This is the Property Hour show live on Star Radio UK. This and every Thursday from the hours of 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we talk everything about property, and also to educate, to inform, to empower you to make the right decision. And so Philip has worked in the industry, the property sector, since the 1990s. That is amazing. Graduating from Sheffield Hallam University with a degree in urban learning economics. Powerful. His experience in the energy sector is around both home and business. So if you're watching us, if you've received the link, this is the best opportunity for you to share with friends and family. Keep sharing. Let somebody link somebody to get somebody to, also a friend and a friend and a friend and the family, even your enemies, to listen, to make right decision. And the tips that I believe Philip is going to give is going to help us very, very, very well. And he has helped a multitude of individuals and organizations source better energy deals, as well as advising on practical ways. Please hear this: practical ways, which Philip is going to give us practical ways tonight to reduce consumption. And also, Philip is a regular commentator on BBC local radio as an energy expert, updating listeners on current trends in the energy market. So amazing guest. And Philip, thank you so much for honoring our invitation. We couldn't have asked more. And we want to say that on this platform, we believe that is going to be another time that many, as our listeners do, contribute, ask questions, and also if they need advice, as you said, if you're ready to do it, we will be more than happy to also connect you as well. But Philip, thank you. I've read a short summary of what you've been doing. Is there anything you want to add to it?
No, thank you for the introduction, and yeah, very kind. So yeah, as you say, probably showing my age, early 90s in the property market. Been there ever since. Loved it. I've invested, involved in various businesses, estate agents, all sorts of things. So yeah, it's an exciting business to be in. Obviously, at the moment, the big topic is energy bills. Everybody's talking about energy bills. So yeah, I'm working with individuals, HMOs, short let, Airbnbs, residential business, all sorts of markets at the moment, trying to help them. Wow,
that's good news, and I think that's one of the major killers of families at the minute. So it's something that people keep asking. People just throw their hands in the air as to giving up or staying in the cold, and whatever will be. And is that how it has to go?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting. I know you asked me earlier about. It's something we all use. You're in the studio now.
Yeah.
You've got the lights on, the electric's on.
Exactly.
I'm at home with my lights on in the office at home, but a lot of people are struggling. I'm talking to successful businesses on that side and successful landlords, but also families that are genuinely struggling, and it's we know it's not easy. Hopefully, and we'll talk over the hour, there is some light at the end of the tunnel. That bills will start to go down, but at the moment, it is tough out there in terms of energy bills.
It is tough out there, and that's what, as an expert, Philip is giving us. It's real, and as he said, whether you are home or you are work, even on the train, even on the buses, energy is being used. Is that not so, Philip?
Yeah. It's I mean, it we call it a utility, and it is. So gas, electric, we're all using it. I think the big thing, and and you mentioned obviously the work I do on that small radio station, the BBC, and that we talk about this a lot about. Actually, there's not a lot of talk about reduction of consumption. And you talked at the start of the programme about tips and ideas, and it's always about, we all want to lower the bills, which I help with, but also just things around reducing consumption. And I think that doesn't get discussed that much. It's kind of, right, my bill's here, what do I do? Rather than going, well, actually, how can I reduce consumption? That's the thing that doesn't get talked about on the radio or in the press, really. That's
true. That's very true, and that's why I love this particular moment that I have with you. And for us to proceed, we've started the conversation already, and in terms of the energy that the effect is having, which you mentioned as well, on the ordinary person or families that are struggling. What would you say? I mean, I don't want us to jump the gun, but let us discuss. Okay, go on. As you know, I do a lot on the radio, in the press, talk to people directly as well. And it's an interesting one, because it's almost people know what to do, as in turn things down and don't use so much. So it's a challenging one. The big debate at the moment, and obviously property related, is consumption, but energy efficiency. And people doing their best to get the bills down. But there are basic things that people can do, and I always say it, things that use a lot of energy compared to other things. So basic things like tumble dryers, for example, do use a lot of energy. An electric oven uses a lot of energy, but most people now should really know that. But it's really just looking at, right, what things don't need to be on. I had an example only this last week, talking to a lady, helping her lower her bills, and she had the thermostat on really, really high because she thought it would keep her warm. Whereas I said, actually, turn that thermostat down to about 18 or 19. It will still keep you warm enough. So it's just looking for the obvious things. Okay, looking for the obvious things. And let me say, if you've just joined us, you're live on Star Radio UK, and the program is the Property Hour Show. We're discussing high energy bills, which is affecting families up and down the country. And what do you need to do? What you need to do is very key, very important, as Philip has just mentioned. So, in terms of Philip, in terms of the past, the present, and the future, is it going to? Where are we coming from? If we can just take a little dip.
We dive into my economics degree now. So if we go back, probably I'd say pre-COVID.
Yes.
There were a lot of cheap deals out there, but as we found out, those were companies that were buying customers. So those deals seemed really, really great. And me as a commentator and in the market, there was a lot of comments I made about those deals are not sustainable.
Right.
They look great. So people, quite rightly, looking to save money, move for those. And then as soon as energy prices started going up during COVID and post-COVID, what happened? Those energy companies started going bust because they couldn't afford to sell. They were selling energy at a huge loss. Then obviously we've had the situation with Ukraine, which has made the market worse in terms of wholesale costs. And now we've seen obviously government intervention in terms of the energy price guarantee, and the price cap. The kind of the short term outlook is, and it's difficult to say it, it looks like there will be another small rise in April, which is when the next price cap review is. Looking further afield and looking at the markets, it looks like prices will start to soften. the challenge is, and if you listen to even like the Bank of England or others commentators as well, these prices are not going to go down all of a sudden. Even today, although there's been a massive drop in wholesale costs, wholesale rates, they're still as high as they were 2 years ago. So we've kind of gone through a bit of a peak and a trough and a peak and a huge peak and then down, and we're kind of back where we were probably October 2 years ago. So prices sadly are still very high. But the big question is, and you asked earlier, is what will the government do, particularly for households, from April? And that's the big question.
Yeah.
It's really not clear what support there will be. I think the government have got to intervene again.
Would they do?
When I spoke on the radio before, I've talked about a social tariff. So actually for vulnerable households, there is a cap that protects vulnerable households. I think the government has to step in and help. And to give you an idea in the numbers, there are approximately 30,000 households in the UK.
Wow.
About 9 to 10 million are what you would class as vulnerable. So those are the households I think the government has got to support.
That's
the
huge.
challenge is it's that next bit up, the getting by people, that I have concern about. But yeah, certainly I think the vulnerable households they've got to protect, because people, and you said at the very start, people are really struggling to pay their bills.
That's huge. The numbers are huge. 9 to 10 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called, you might have read about it, it's called fuel poverty.
Yeah.
So that's essentially where very roughly about 1/3 of a household's income goes on fuel, so it goes on gas and electric.
Yeah.
If you're above that level, you're into what's called fuel poverty. So yeah, combined with inflation on food and so on and so forth, yeah, it's a really difficult one.
It's a difficult one indeed, and I believe that that a lot can be done for household of this nature. Talking about the future, I know you've given us some bits and pieces as to possibly what might happen, but when people are looking at better days ahead, being hopeful, being positive, thinking that, you know what, hey, as the war ends, things will get better. Do we have to be hopeful?
Yeah, and I think I said just before that prices will start to come down. Ultimately, we want, and yeah, I'm in the energy market, but I don't want people paying more than they have to. So I think it will start to come down certainly during the summer. It's just a case of how much government intervention there's going to be in the meantime. The practicality of it as well, in terms of the providers out there are only really one or two providers that are charging less than the energy price guarantee. And there was a quote on the telly the other day on TV around effectively all the energy providers is nationalised, because they're being told by the government what to charge people. So all the providers, bar two, one really, is charging less than what the government says.
But would that work?
In what way? In terms of
nationalizing these energy giants.
Yeah, I got asked that this morning. It's a really good question. I think genuinely the challenge is it's still the same pipes and cables that everything's coming down.
Yeah.
So it's still got to be produced, and it's still got to be delivered at a cost.
Yeah.
There's obviously a debate about the whole point about big energy suppliers, the wholesale companies that are making huge profits, and should they be making that kind of money? But actually at the retail end, if you look at there's been a lot of recent results. Most of the retail end, so who we're buying our gas and electric off, are losing money. It's the wholesale end. That's where the money's made. and that's actually where the traders, the wholesale companies are making, as we know, sadly, serious profits.
Right. Okay. And do you believe that there's a whole debate? And I mean, I listened to from talk about LBC, Five Live, and all the stuff, and there's debate about the profit that these energy companies are making, and people believe that it's not ethically right for them to be pushing prices high and pushing it down the throat of the poor ones, people that cannot afford. But then also, do we just look at the numbers? Because some of the profit, when you look through, when you take time to read, they've made that profit even outside the country, with some of the sort of energy supplies in other countries, and gas and all kinds of oil and other bits. So who is right? Do they have to make the profit, or do they have to break even?
It's a huge question, isn't it? It's such a debate.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at some of the results this week, EDF, which is the French state-owned, so nationalised effectively, energy company in France, they've had the third largest loss in French corporate history this week. Billions, literally loss.
Okay.
Billions and billions. You then look at Centrica. So Centrica owns British Gas.
Yeah.
Centrica, the end that is making and producing the gas and electric, exceptionally profitable. British Gas making very little money relatively. So there's. I've always said, with my economist hat on, there's something not quite right. The wholesale end is making huge money.
Yeah.
The retailers aren't, and obviously we're all being squeezed as consumers. But as with all these things, somebody somewhere I am sure, is making a huge amount of money. But as you quite rightly said, it's the households that are being squeezed. Yeah.
I hope one day we'll be able to get the right balance as to who. I mean, I don't know if it's ever going to be a win-win situation anytime soon.
We didn't pick up until the CV. I do a lot of charity work. Vulnerable households, particularly.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm a trustee of a homelessness charity.
Oh,
and it's
bless
interesting because those people are struggling, and it's maybe a political comment, is I don't think there should be any situation where any family in the UK is not able to pay their essential bills. That to me just seems everybody should be in a position financially that they can pay their essential bills. So that's what we're seeing at the moment, that's why people are struggling. They're getting to the end of the month and don't have enough money to the end of the month.
But they have to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And that's the painful part of it.
Yes.
That's the painful part. So we look to the day where we will possibly have a win-win situation, and also if it's going to be nationalized, that will help, possibly. That will help, but that's a political one. So okay, Philip, what in these times, what should people be doing? We're talking about the tips that you believe people can do, people of low income, middle income, that are struggling, and it's a challenge for, even if it's a challenge for businesses are folding up, from pubs to what, I mean, talk about businesses that are struggling. So my main focus here is families.
Yes.
That's my key thing. I mean, businesses, they can they can listen to the advice, but the focus should be families, please.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the obvious thing around reduced consumption. I'm not going to keep going on about that in terms of your listeners, because the people are sensible enough now to understand about turning the lights off and other things, that whilst realising obviously they've got to keep their homes warm.
Yeah.
My key point, particularly for families that are struggling, is please do speak to your local council. There are additional discretionary grants out there across the country, so please do speak to your council. That's either directly or through your local councillor.
Right.
I do a lot of work through Citizens Advice, who are very good at advising people. And the key thing, and I stress it so much, particularly when I do talk on the radio, is don't be afraid to pick up the phone to your provider, your energy provider. If you are struggling, pick up the phone, speak to them and say, look, I cannot afford these bills. They have to then find a way that is suitable for you in terms of what you can afford. I'm hearing too many stories of people not picking the phone up to their provider, which is it will just get out of control. And it's I'd three key words is don't leave it, do something about it.
Don't leave it.
Yeah, please don't. I mean, I had one customer from Birmingham rang, and her bill had gone up massively. She's got 4 children, and bill had gone up over Christmas, so she'd had the heating on. But the first bit of advice was, please speak to your energy provider. They have to listen, and they have to set up a monthly payment that works for the customer.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a plan. They put a plan in place.
Yeah, that's affordable. And I think, and I understand. There's a lot of families we know are struggling. We've talked about it. That will be looking at those bills and thinking, "Goodness me, how am I going to pay those?" But please do pick up the phone to either your provider or Citizens Advice. Citizens Advice are right across the country and very helpful.
Yeah. Okay. So and let me also say that in terms of, apart from speaking to the supplier, what are some of the things that they can practically do to possibly, if they turn the heating on, if they are doing it once or they are doing it twice, or I mean, people might be confused as to when, with regards to an example you gave, somebody turning it up to increasing the how do you call it, the temperature.
Yeah. So I mean, the big and this will help your listeners, the big expense in the UK is central heating. Now obviously central heating can be electric, but generally is boilers, gas boilers. I gave the example at the beginning of the show. A lady I was working with last week, she got the boiler set at, I think, 25 degrees centigrade, and I said to her, the point is, when the boiler's on, it will struggle to get to that temperature, so it's just running all the time, pumping out gas, trying to keep it up. It's like putting your foot on the accelerator in your car, and the rev limiter is literally, it's flat out, it can't keep up. So I always advise to people, keep it around 18 or 19 degrees. Have it when it comes on in the morning, when you're getting out of bed. You should be warm in bed, hopefully, and then have it when you come on in the morning. The other thing as well, I've heard people saying, "Oh, leave it on all the time." Yeah, but when it's on, it's still using that gas. So just use it for the times you need it. But certainly, and this lady was a good example. She got the gas on all night, and I said, "Well, in the nicest way, you're going to bed 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock at night, whatever it is, the gas doesn't need to be on all night." But yeah, I'd always say to people, the recommendation in terms of health, and this is what the NHS says, that the house should be 18 degrees and above. Anything below that, obviously, people can start to get ill and have chest infections, whatever it may be. But yeah, the NHS guidelines are 18 degrees and above. So keep the house 18 degrees is always my advice. There's always this thing as well around heat the home or heat the person. Mm-hmm. And old-fashioned as it is, and you can probably gather I'm a northern guy.
Okay.
An extra layer. Mm-hmm. And again, it sounds slightly patronising, but it is. My kids, I'm always telling to put extra layers on, but it is genuinely keep yourself warm, keep the layers on. We've been lucky. We've had quite a mild winter, bar 2 very cold snaps, but but I think the central heating is the big one. The other one as well, and I mentioned at the beginning, is things like tumble dryers. The amount of families that I speak to that turn tumble dryers on and have them, they literally, you're better off genuinely burning £20 notes. They
seriously.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they eat electric. The other one as well, and again viewers may have, is electric showers. So not power showers, but showers that run off the electric. Mm-hmm. Again, eat huge amounts of electric.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow. Thank you for that. I didn't know.
So no showers. Mm-hmm. And no drying of clothes.
Oh my.
It was serious with clothes, and I'm conscious not everybody has got the space, but air them. Just take them out of the washing machine, mm-hmm. put them on the airer, let them dry naturally. It's so easy these days just to pick up the wet clothes, throw them in the tumble dryer. But that tumble dryer, you will be amazed the amount of electric that thing uses. I'm not in the tumble dryer business, by the way.
Oh my. Right, okay. If you've just joined us, you're live on Star Radio UK, and the program is the Property Hour Show. We're discussing high energy bills. What is your experience? What have you had to go through as a family, as a business, individuals? You know what? Let us know. Send us on WhatsApp. It's 07539 661744. That's 07539 661744. If you want to send us a message on YouTube, we are more than happy for you to do that, and also on Facebook as well. Send us a message, ask a question, and we will be more than happy to ask our guest to do his best to answer. But anyway, I know you're not. But my personal question is my observation, looking at the suppliers. Almost every one of them is turning towards green energy. Now, how feasible? My first question, because I have a follow-up on that. How feasible is green energy?
So there's myths, I guess, and I guess that's where you're pointing with this. There are myths. So as we drive around the country, we see solar farms, we see wind turbines, we see all sorts of things. There are actually very few energy suppliers that are directly fed into those. So those farms and so on are being fed into what's called the national grid. Whichever you provide you with, bar probably one or two, when you're buying your gas and electric, or electric generally in terms of green, it's coming off the grid. So it's just a mix of gas, wind, whatever it may be. When you asked the question earlier as well, I looked it up. In terms of globally, and wind power, which is the visible thing we see, 4% of the world's power is supplied by wind.
Oh,
so it's not a huge amount, and I think that's the thing. So there's a big leap from where we are now to get to 100% renewable.
Yeah,
it's not impossible, but it is a big leap. the challenges as well at the moment is there's no price differential, because ultimately you think, well, the sun's out, the wind's blowing, surely that should be free. But it's all part of that mix, and I think people forget that what comes down your cables and pipes is just a mix of what's in the national grid. And most suppliers are trading on the market, so what are called REGOs, which is renewable energy certificates. That's what they're doing. So they're not actually pumping in 100% green electric into your house. They're just buying it on the market through what are called these certificates. I mean, there's lots of talk, and the Labour have been on, haven't they, today, talking about a move to net zero, 100% renewable. I think it's a big leap, and we see also during the winter, particularly with wind, when there's no wind, those turbines don't work. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Is it the right thing or the wrong thing? I don't know. It's like with electric vehicles. Is it the right thing, the wrong thing? Who knows? All I do know, and I'm sure you think the same, is we can't. There is only finite amount of fossil fuels that we can take out of the earth, and it's not going to be there forever, sadly.
Now, when you mentioned electric vehicles, I was laughing because of experience that I've had, and it's if you ask my honest opinion, I don't think we're ready. The infrastructure is not there yet, and also the whole And
I think the thing with EVs, I always say this, is an electric vehicle, all the raw materials got to be dug out of the ground, and it's got to be made. So that's using electricity and power to make them. Yes, when you turn them on and you drive around London or wherever you are, the zero emissions. But anything brand new, it takes electricity and a consumption of energy to make those things, and we know that the batteries and all the other things are not particularly environmentally friendly. It'd be interesting to see where it goes. And as you quite rightly say, there was some reports I read, I think it was Germany, they've worked out that if all German drivers had an electric vehicle, there is not enough capacity in their grid to charge them.
That's a serious.
Can't charge them anyway.
I think that if you ask me, I think they need to go back to the drawing board as to either the combination of electric and the other one. How do you call it? The cars that you combination of electric and hybrid. The hybrid. Yeah. I think the hybrid is okay, but. Yeah, the hybrid is okay.
Yeah, I mean, we go off topic, but yeah, I've always said that it'll be a very small petrol engine, but the fuel is synthetic, so you can run around for longer journeys, and then you'll have a little electric battery just for running around town. Yeah. So 50, 100 miles, and then that to me seems it's like where I live. We don't. Our house is front onto the street.
Okay.
So we can't plug in electric vehicles anyway.
That's also another whole lot. I mean,
particularly in London, a lot of a very big urban area. Not everybody has off-street parking.
Off-street parking, yeah. And the other painful part is that I think I traveled with a friend up to, we were just in Hemel Hempstead, and we're looking for a charge. A charging point, a charging station. Okay. It took us almost an hour to get one, and we got there. It won't work. The other one too was blocked, and you know what? It took a miracle for us to get to London that day. So these are some of the things, but it's off topic. But these are some of the things that they need to look at.
We'll have another show on electric vehicles.
That'll be good. I believe because you know what, a lot of people don't have a good idea of what it entails and what can happen or the pros and cons of it.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't. So Philip, in terms of going forward, I know our time we're getting closer, but in going forward in terms of energy, where do you come in? I mean, what do you do for companies, organizations, and individuals, families, and possibly charities as well, as you mentioned?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, a lot of my day job work, which is around energy at the moment, is and take today as an example. I've had a bakery come to me, large manufacturer that bakes bread, come to me and gone, right, we're on this deal, it ends in March, we're paying too much, what can you do? So I get a letter of authority from them, their bills. I then, through my team, we go out to the market and go, right, let's look at the whole business market and see what the best deal is. On the business side, and those that have got businesses that are listening in, variable rates at the moment for businesses are exceptionally high. Fixed rates are very good at the moment. So I'll always happily talk to people about fixing at the moment. On the residential side, and this is both people that let out properties but obviously own them or live in them, tenants as well. Very simple. I talk to them over the phone, or I can see them face to face. We go through their bills and we say, right, okay, where can we get you a better deal? In terms of energy, there is essentially one company that is less than the energy price guarantee, but I'll also look at other things, so like their broadband, their mobile, and I'm a real stickler for actually, let's look at your consumption and can I identify, that seems high, and why, and what we can do. So I go above and beyond and say, right, it's not just finding you the best deal, it's also about helping you reduce your consumption, because ultimately that's how they'll lower their bills.
Okay, that's a good point. And I have a question from Mohammed. Is it? Yeah. Okay, so the question is he runs a rent to rent. He said, I'm a rent to rent operator.
Yeah.
What would be the best way to run my energy in the properties? More, if you can qualify these questions, it will be good, because I think it's quite general.
Yes. So this is somebody that is renting a property and then renting it to somebody else. So they're renting it off a landlord or a freeholder.
Yeah.
To then rent out. So and I've got a lot of customers like that. So ones I've done recently, we've done them on, and we'll go with, he's doing it on an all-inclusive rent, which I would assume is.
Yeah.
It's again just about finding the best deal that is out there. The key thing though on the consumption side is, particularly one big rent-to-rent investor I'm working with, is he's got a really good piece of kit that actually monitors the usage and the heating and so on and so forth in the property, so he can control it remotely. Because I think the challenge is people can come into a property, literally turn everything on, have all the lights on, all the heat. So yeah, I'd say, and I'll happily chat to him because I've got a lot of customers like that, is we'd look at the bills, make sure he's getting the best in terms of particularly energy, but other things as well. But yeah, have some way of controlling what those people are doing in your properties. Particularly on HMOs, I've got a lot where the landlord's gone in and all the lights are on, all the heating's on, and it's absolutely costing a fortune.
And that's the painful part, because they're not the ones paying the bill. So
yeah, and there's this debate, isn't there, a moment about on rent to rent or short lets or HMOs around, do you include the bills? because actually, by nature, then the occupiers, the tenants, do they really, in the nicest way, do they care? They've just got everything on all the time. But what I'm seeing more is people buying software that's linked to the boiler that controls the temperature and everything, and they're commercially available apps and software and pieces of kit that will do that for him.
Okay, so there are softwares that are connected to boilers that people can.
So there's an investor I'm working with at the moment. He's got a lot of properties in Birmingham, and literally, I've seen him. He'll have on his phone, and he can look at all his individual properties and go, okay, I'll make it up 123 High Street. It's set at 21, or they've turned the heating off. He can control that remotely. Yeah.
Wow.
I think the other thing as well is, and again, I'm seeing a lot of is fair usage. So actually built into the lease, it's saying this is fair usage, because clearly that him as effectively a landlord, he could suddenly get an exceptionally large bill if somebody left something on. So yeah, it's that looking at fair usage as well, and is the tenant being reasonable?
Yeah. Okay. That's a good one. So Mo, I believe that this is the answer you're looking for. If not, please do send us the question again. But I believe Philip has done a good job. And another one from Sarah. Okay, so Sarah says that we provide care and we are looking to save, but the service users are also a challenge for us to turn the heating on or off. I think it's a straight. Anyway, I will not.
So she. I think she's saying she's a carer, isn't she? I think
they are service providers. They provide care for service users. Like care companies.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the direct experience of this. I'm a trustee of a 24/7 homeless shelter in the city I live in, and again, there's that debate about heat on or heat off. But particularly when it's a care situation, you've got to look after those people. They're
exactly.
People. I've done other ones on the residential side. So a customer that stands out, the daughter's a carer. The mother has got motor neurone disease.
Okay.
The thing is, you can't turn things off. But again, there's this question about should the government be then stepping in to support people that are carers, that are on like motor neuron, on oxygen machines and so on and so forth. And I know certainly the Welsh government has stepped in to provide more support for those people, which I understand. But yeah, it's a challenge. Again, though, on those, I'd be having a really long conversation with the energy provider and saying, look, we've got to leave stuff on so that our people, the people that are in our houses are safe.
Thank you for that. And so, Sarah, here you go. You've got to make it's a bold decision. You might have to, but you have to do some consultations as well. Very key. I have another question coming from it's coming from Grace. His question is, between pay as you go and the pay monthly, which of the two would you would you recommend?
That's blimey. Well, I mean, it's obviously been in the press a lot recently on prepayment and a certain energy company knocking on doors. So I mean, I can only go from my customers. So I've got customers that the landlord insists that they're on pay as you go, so prepayment.
Okay.
Yeah. But they also choose to be, so they can budget. The challenge is at the moment, we know that unit rates and standing charges for prepayment are much higher. Some people, sadly, that generally are more vulnerable are paying the penalty. I've seen it, and it's a small number, but I've seen more of my customers that are coming off prepayment, moving on to what's called standard tariff, and are paying monthly in arrears. So they just pay for what they use, but are being really careful on their consumption, because I think what they're seeing is by being on prepayment, the rates are so high, it's just unaffordable. It's a difficult question. I would always personally, and you talk about every case is different. I would always, with any of my customers, have a specific conversation with them and work out what's best for them. Because for one building next to the other, or one house next to the other, it could be a very different situation. I think the interesting thing is that a lot of landlords obviously insist that their tenants have prepayment, but prepayment, as I've said already, it's more expensive
because of past experience, possibly.
No, I mean I mean the argument is that the prepayment network is more expensive to run. Personal view is it should be no more expensive than the standard tariff. Why should people that are potentially on lower incomes or more vulnerable pay more?
Okay. Grace, here you go. It's
not sure that answers the question, but it's a really difficult one. My strong belief, this is a personal belief, is prepayment should be no more than standard tariff.
Yeah, because the customer is paying upfront, isn't it?
Yeah, so you go into you either do it on an app or you go into your local news agents, you put on £50 in credit, and then that credit through a card or through a smart meter goes through into the prepayment meter. But that £50, people are paying extra than they would if they were on what's called a standard tariff.
Right.
The challenge with standard tariff is you pay for what you use, so you could leave it on all day, you'll be paying for it.
Right. Okay. Our time is up, but let me say, Philip, I know that. Okay, these are not questions on there. There are no questions. To be quite honest, so I'll jump that and come to you for your final remarks and your advice to not just our listeners but to the entire population.
It sounds like a political debate, this, doesn't it? Now,
I know it's a bit of a tough one for you, but basically something that, I mean, it's your field, so you know how to. But my if I'm to direct it, I'll say that what should people, you've already given us all the tips and the bits and pieces, and also in conclusion you can also leave information as to how people can connect with you, as to how people can reach you. All those details will be very, very important for.
Yeah, so I think I'd say the key thing is do look at your consumption and what you're using. Look at practical ways you can reduce consumption, whilst bearing in mind be safe and be healthy. We don't want people switching things off and putting themselves at risk. Do speak to your energy provider. I think the other thing as well is, and it jumped out to me, is those three words: don't leave it. Don't let it get out of control. And I'm conscious that you'll have listeners on here that it is stressful. But there is help out there. Beyond that, don't be afraid to pick up the phone. If people want to speak to me, they're more than welcome. I'm all the normal channels, so Twitter, Facebook. People can ring me, email me. I'm happy to chat, and I'm always happy to offer advice, even if it's just to listen and suggest where to get help from. That's my big driver, is how can I help people at the moment.
Right. Okay, so on, let's say, Twitter.
Twitter is at Philip Fowler.
At Philip
Fowler. And
the Philip with one L.
One L. Yeah, one L. So Philip with one L. In terms of email, people happily email me, and it's philip@philipfowler.com.
So
probably those two are enough for people to get to me.
Philip
at philipfowler.com.
At Philip. Fowler.com. Okay. Right, I think the email will be more. It will be good, and also, I mean, social media as well, like Twitter, Facebook. Are you on Instagram?
No, too old for that. My kids are.
That's true. So you can. Okay, I'll read the email out, and it's philip@philipfowler.com. .com, and you can email, you can send your questions, and Philip is more than happy to answer your questions and help out, advice, and
in your car, at work, at home, on your smartphone.
Sorry, I think I got a right. So yeah, Philip will be more than happy to help you out. And hey, as he said, don't be shy to pick up the phone and speak to your service provider. Have a conversation with them. You know what? We're getting, Philip, I think we're getting to a place where everybody's owing in this world, isn't it? Is that not so? Everybody is owing. So hey, you're not the first to. It's better you have a conversation than to just
don't leave it.
Yeah, don't leave it. Thank you ever so much, Philip, and it's a real honor and a privilege to have you on the show. And I believe that we'll be coming back to you to have more of the information that we need, because these are things that we need as a daily thing. It's something that is part of our lives that we can do without. And so for me, it's very, very important, and I appreciate your time for helping us educate our listeners, viewers across the country and the globe as well. Thank you so much for coming in tonight.
Thank you for asking me. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. And as you heard there, we have had to talk about a very important subject: energy bills. If you miss it, the good news is that you can do a replay on Facebook, on Twitter, also on YouTube, Periscope, on TuneIn Radio. You'll be able to play back and listen to the tips, the information, the advice that Philip has given is very, very crucial. One thing that he said is that if you're struggling, don't keep quiet. Pick up the phone. Speak to your energy supplier. You know what? I would say they are human beings like you. Everybody goes through a pattern at one point in time. So do not shy away from engaging them. Speak to them, let them know your situation. And also he mentioned that you can seek help from citizens advice, and also look out for your council. Speak to the council. Some of the councils have got grants depending on your household income. They'll be able to help you. You don't have to struggle alone. There's help everywhere you turn. But if you happen to still not have enough information, I'm going to give out Philip's email address. You can email him, ask questions, and ask for advice as well. His email is Philip with one L, Philip at Fowler, I beg your pardon. So Philip at philipfowler.com, and send him an email. Or if you missed anything at all, you can give us a call on our studio lines anytime. Leave a message. If I'm not here, leave a message. I'll be able to I'll listen back, and or any of the staff will pick it up and give me the info. I'll give you a call back and connect you to Philip. So the numbers are 0208 133 2258. That's 0208 133 2258, and we'll be able to connect you to Philip. If you did not get the email, or you cannot send an email, maybe you're not able to send an email, please do not let the email be a stumbling block, but give us a call on 0208 133 2258. We're here to help, we're here to serve. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's been a great time. I've learned, and I've also made some notes as well. And do a playback, keep sharing. Let somebody also learn from tonight. But most importantly, if you're a business and you're struggling, you can connect with Philip as well. You might be a charity, whatever institution, whatever entity you are, please connect. It's Philip at philipfowler.com. Send him an email or give us a call 0208 133 2258. Thank you for tonight. KB Bossman, it's a privilege coming your way. And you know what? Join me this Sunday. It's going to be another amazing time. Look out for the flyer on social media. It's going to be Fake Talk on Sunday, 4 p.m. UK time. And next week we're here again. And thank you, and have a good night. Tomorrow morning, Archie and the team are here on the Star Breakfast Show as there's an election that will change the face of Africa, and they are talking about it tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. It's the Nigerian elections. It's heating up. It's getting whatever it's getting to. I don't want to put words in, but I believe that the right candidate has to be chosen. I'm not political, but when I have to, I will. And we need to get the right people. Vote with your conscience and make sure you do what your generation will thank you for. That's the best way to give back to your generation. So join Archie and the boys from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. tomorrow, and they will be discussing current affairs, all the breaking news, and every political subject from the UK, across the globe, and also Africa as well. Good night and all the best. God bless. No stress, nothing less. Let's listen to this, and okay, let's see. Okay.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been
that?
told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019,
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Star Radio.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Star Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for star, R for radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Make that move now this festive season to your new home address at GHS Housing Estate. From now to 31st January 2023, we are offering you an amazing 5% buyer's discount on all purchases on our expandable 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom detached homes at Cochrane Villa, Pokwase, just 5 minutes drive from the interchange. The Mayflower and the new Hazel Courts at Kuntusi, 20 minutes drive from Achimatamo. Beautiful homes in a serene and gated community with flexible payment plans available. Call us now on 0544 347 980 or 0544 347 981. GHS Housing Estates. View it, love it, own it.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda,